Hello, everybody. Suzy Woo here. Welcome to this week's astrology. Today, we're going to be talking about Jupiter moving into Cancer. And we're just admitting some people into the room, and then this will be posted up on YouTube for everybody to see. All righty. Really exciting times here. We've got, I know I always say that, but it's true. So all of these planetary changes, Saturday night, I definitely, please put in the comments, whether you're with me on Zoom or on YouTube, Saturday, I don't keep calendars around me, but Saturday was the 24th. So Saturday night is when Saturn changed into Aries. I ended up getting a whopping migraine and an energy upgrade. It was so strong that the next day's event I needed to postpone. Now Aries, Saturn and Aries, Saturn is kind of like squeezing. It's kind of like it's limitations. I mean, it's got a ring around it, right? So it can't grow. Like think about wearing a belt, right, and jeans, and it's Thanksgiving, right? So that gets uncomfortable. Um, Saturn would be the belt. And Aries rules the head. And so restrictions, head, right? Aries and Saturn together can also bring inflammation of Saturnian things, which would be bones, joints, knees, connective tissue. Uh, yeah. And then the area of life, that's going to be the house that zero of Aries resides in. Now, the other thing is on June 9th, Jupiter's going to move into Cancer. So we've got two planets that don't like each other. Saturn is constriction and sobriety and taking your life seriously. Jupiter is expansive and generous and laughter and freedom. So these two planets are conflicted. They're kind of opposite in their symbolism. Both are changing signs. Saturn is going to restrict in the sign of Aries. That is our independence and it's our identity. Who do you think you are? And are you, I always say this, are you living in alignment with your values? Um, and we're gonna get a little breather because in September, Saturn is going to retrograde actually out of Aries and back into Pisces for a little bit until Valentine's Day. And then Saturn will go back into Aries and stay there for 2 years. So this is going to be like a teaser, like a little test. What's going on in your life from now until September? Make notes to yourself. What's showing up that wasn't there before? And then when we hit September, you're going to get a little breather. You're going to be able to tweak your plans. You're going to be able to review because when we have a retrograde planet, that means we redo, renew, reevaluate. We get to tweak. And then when we hit Valentine's Day of 2026, you're eligible to pick up where you left off and then move full speed ahead for the next 2 years. Okay, now let's move to Jupiter. Jupiter has been going through Gemini, which it does not like. They don't get along as well. They're in opposite signs. So, and the year before that, Jupiter was in Taurus, so it doesn't do well there either. But now on June 9th, it's going to actually be exalted. It's going to be where Jupiter has the most energy ever, and it's going to be in the sign of Cancer. So I want to share with you what kind of things that represents. It's going to represent, which means these are going to be the things in the news. Jupiter in Cancer is going to be family issues. It's going to be women's rights. Why? Because Cancer is women. Cancer is ruled by the moon. We call the moon a planet in astrology, and the moon is women's rights. Cancer is the family unit, mother, nurses, healthcare, reproductive system, families, family rights, also real estate, home, feeling safe in my home. And Jupiter is going to put a spotlight on those matters. Saturn and Aries, those topics are going to be pressure, volcanoes, seismic activity, tsunamis and earthquakes. Now, we can go one step further. Another planet is changing signs. July 7th, 7/7. And that's going to be Uranus. Uranus is going to be leaving Taurus, which it does not like, which is also pressure and seismic activity. And it's going to break free and move into an air sign, which will be Gemini, which it enjoys immensely. What you can expect from now over the next few months and staying forever is we're moving out of the very slow earth and water energy, which takes time. I got to plant the seed. I got to wait. I got to water the seed, let the sun nurture, speak beautifully, lovingly to the seeds, and wait for it to bear fruit. Well, moving into air and fire, which are masculine, this is going to speed everything up. Time accelerates. It's going to feel, well, right now, I kind of feel like accordion, like it bunches up and then it eases off. As Saturn has been into Pisces the last 2.5 years, that's Pisces is dissolve. I dissolve, and Saturn is time, Chronos. So a dissolution of time, a dissolution of the corrupt masculine energy, and in favor for a more supportive, nurturing, it's the repair and the renewal and the rebirth of a healthy masculine energy. So this is going to bring the fall of a lot of barbaric practices in leadership. And we're going to see this like now. All this stuff is now. Like this isn't down the road. It's now, it's happening. It's been happening over the past several months, but we're going to see peaks of this stuff. So big headlines. And the other thing when we get to July with Uranus moving into Gemini is space, is extraterrestrial connections, is picking up on, I call it crosstalk. But if you don't have a healthy support system, you're going to think you're losing your mind. You suddenly, okay, so there was a Brady Bunch episode back in the 70s, and I'm guessing it was Jan because she was the middle child and everybody always blamed her for everything, that she was like a nuisance, and she was just so pure, sweet, and innocent. But oh, we got somebody else coming in. But I think I've got the right TV show. Somebody got braces, and then they kept on hearing like radio stations and crosstalk. It could have been the Partridge Family. It might have been Lori on the Partridge Family with braces. But they kept on hearing like reception, radio stations, static. This is how it's going to be for a lot of us. You're going to start to hear what I'm calling crosstalk or chatter, way more stuff going on in your ears, ringing, static, murmuring. You might hear what seems like a running refrigerator, that hum. This is all space talk. It's all the activity frequencies that are going on that now the sound barrier has been removed and your DNA is becoming quite less dense. And I kind of feel like pastry. What is that? That Greek pastry, that real thin stuff. Falafel, that real or baklava, that real thin pastry, and how it's like we've been really dense, compressed really tight for hundreds of years in this scarcity mindset, rations, uh, having to stand in line to get my bread for my family, and war and all this horrible suppression and all that other stuff. It's embedded in our DNA from generations before us. But that is one expression of our DNA. We also have multidimensional DNA, which is going to bring forth your before human expression, before you chose to have a dense physical body. You didn't always need that. Your soul um, did not always need to be in a physical body. And imagine how freeing it is when you don't have to have that. You may have dreams or somehow memories or some kind of a cosmic reference of just flying around. I have tons of dreams. Ever since I was little about flying. I remember remembering when I was a kid, it's like, how come I can't fly? And I would go out front and I would like whip my arms around in circles and all these different things, and I'm not understanding why I'm not able to levitate off the ground. Um, but in this lifetime, you have a human body which is dense and heavy, and gravity is holding it to the earth. Um, but we can change matter with our consciousness. So though we're anchored in our physical body, the whole premise of alchemy, super love it, super duper love it. And what it means is you're taking something here and you're turning it into that. Now, as a pretty lame example, think about bad example, but I'm thinking of Kool-Aid. So like when you're a kid and it's colored sugar and you dissolve it in the water, well, you could say that's alchemy. Um, or turning lead into gold, all that kind of stuff. We are able to do this in this lifetime when you have a higher consciousness state. And that is why quantum healing works. That is why, how to get there. There's different ways of doing that, but it's I dissolve, which is Pisces. Excuse me, it's Christ-like consciousness. So I need to exit this kind of carcass and become all that is. Now that kind of magnetizes to the flow of the frequency of our beautiful divine universe, which you are a product of, which means you are love itself. So don't make yourself anything less than that. Now you've got the power of the universe flowing through you. What are you going to do with it? So if you choose any kind of revenge, well, that's bad. It's going to burn you first. It's like drinking poison and hoping the other person's going to die. So that's a bad practice. So you want to use this energy for the healing of self so that you can light the way for others. And then hopefully that will encourage others to want to heal themselves and maybe even consult you for some advice or some support. That's how to work with these energies. With Jupiter moving into Cancer, that is going to be a year, because even when Jupiter goes retrograde, it's still going to stay in Cancer. So I really like this. It's not going to leave Cancer and go back into Gemini. It's going to be, I think, the hot degree, I think where it's going to sit is, I think it's 25 degrees, where it's going to stay and retrograde on that and come all the way back to early degrees. I forget, 3 to 11, somewhere around there. But it stays in Cancer nonetheless. So we've got a nice solid year of Cancerian energy. And so this is going to be, I want to protect my homeland. And so this will speak to countries as well. Countries that either are a Cancer rising or have a strong Cancer in their chart. And protection of the home, the family, protection of my real estate, protection of my reproductive rights. And the big thing, I feel, the big overarching theme is self-care, self-nurturing, the ability to slow down. And this is going to be kind of a saving grace, because with all the other planets in air and fire, the outer ones anyways, we've got Pluto. It's in Aquarius, which I love, for the people by the people, but it's chaos. because we need chaos to have creation. And that's going to be for the next 19 years. So that's set in stone for 19 years. We have Saturn now in Aries, that's fire. We have Neptune in Aries for 8 years or 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years. It's going to be for a minute. So that's a masculine energy. So we've got all of this air and fire in the sky, and Jupiter, the great benefic, is helping to not forget the mother. And the mother is our home planet. And so it's nurturing of Earth, Gaia, nurturing of the mother, um, and the ability to conceive and carry and reproduce. Um, I am picking up right now, this is going to somehow involve farming as well. Okay, and reservoirs. There might be water rations. So there might be something that happens that contaminates the waters. I don't know that it would be another oil spill. Uh, no, it feels different. It's something different. When I'm feeling something turbo, water, electricity falling down. So that means the way that we make electricity, that's going to be quote unquote short circuiting. And we definitely know that the grid is going down. We've known this for years. And I expect that it's going to, now it already has happened in some European countries that if you've ever had a session with me, I do have a Facebook group and we talk about that stuff there and we share headlines and whatnot. When the planet Uranus moves into Gemini, there's going to be huge inventions that I feel finally get a green light because the dark masses cannot blemish it anymore. There's too many souls on the earth that are bringing their inventions to the fore, and they cannot not all get unalived. There's too many now. It's power in the numbers of healthy, cleaner energy, which truly should be free because Earth does not charge us to live on it. Earth does not charge us rent to live on her. We have an obligation. If you're a guest in somebody's house, you wouldn't ransack it, right? This is our chance to make amends and renewed energy, renewed agreements with our Earth Mother, our real home in this lifetime, in this incarnation. Earth is our home. And then upon the earth, we create our individual home that we live in and, hang our curtains up in. Okay, hang our hat. So this is going to bring up earth matters, but also home and privacy matters. So there's also going to be destabilizing security measures. So this is going to be what I'm seeing here is spying. Now this is not new, but it's what I'm seeing now. So a more disclosure. Now this might involve Google itself, but there's other big companies that are involved. And this is like your dryer spying on you. Smart appliances that are capturing hot words, keywords, listening devices from things that weren't even sold to you as being capable of doing that. And that those things are going to start falling off the market and going away through disclosures and a lot of lawsuits. Now I'm also seeing that I'm seeing quicksand of big things like the last of the bad people in power. Now this is going to be help on an extraterrestrial level is the way that I feel this. And so this is you can call it divine guidance. It's a higher power outside of just the human condition that is helping us because we have enough collective consciousness that are awakened that it is opening up to new stronger potentials. Really, what it means is our planet is back online where others can actually hear and interact. We were kind of like sequestered. We were kind of go to your room and think about what you've done. Our planet as a whole was put in our room. And we got our cell phone take away, our Atari, we got our stuff taken away, our privileges taken away for a long, long time. And now we're only in the extreme early stages of coming back online. Have you learned your lesson? That's Saturn in Aries, your identity. We need to act with more compassion towards one another, and that begins with how we treat ourselves. Very, very important. However you treat yourself is like the pace car. How I treat myself, this is how I'm telling you to treat me. So if I am self-defeated and I don't feel good about myself, I'm going to attract people that help me to not feel good about myself. When I realize that I am love itself, this is clearly not from an ego stage, but it's saying, you know what? I am the same stuff as the puppies and the kittens and the trees, which is a truth. You have a life force that's kind of like magical. Like when you have something living and something that is does not have life, there's difference, right? So you have this wonderful magical living consciousness, but with that comes power. Like with any kind of power comes responsibility. How will you wield that? And that is now the new test that we are in right now. The 3 days grace, the Mother May I. Well, don't step out of line. I'm watching. And so this is us having to regain our sea legs. I don't know who I am because I've been so wired, conditioned under what everyone else always told me to be, and I better eat everything on my plate because kids are starving in China. That's what we were told when we were little kids. And so that's actually guilt. It makes us feel guilty. Or our parents saying how hard that they work to put this food on the table, make sure you clean your plate. That is guilt. It's guilt. And we grow up with this shame, this guilt, and there's Catholic guilt. You walk into a church, there's a dead guy on the cross, and we got to feel guilty. He died for our sins, so feel guilty, feel shame. You're not worthy. This is what we've been raised with. And now that is actually a form of blind faith. Now it's like, you know what? That doesn't taste good. I don't want that anymore. In addition to that, our bodies are starting to talk to us more. I know I've shared this several times, but um, a few, probably about 6 years ago, I remember I bit into a Klondike bar, the ice cream bar, and it tasted like petrol. It tasted like gasoline. And the product didn't change, but my body changed. And so you have a smart body. It has your cells have consciousness. And so as we're getting pummeled with all of these solar flares and geomagnetic storms and this has been going also like an accordion. It's getting real bunched up. And when all these planets changing signs, and when Uranus moves into Gemini, I expect big shit to happen. Big, 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 big. I do expect bigger scale power grids to go down, but I'm also seeing magnitude. Magnitude, that's earthquake talk. But I'm seeing super volcano, like Mount something Mount Ilua. There's something before that. So there's gonna be real like big, like the granddaddy that's been dormant for a long time. This has some kind of the heritage that's come down is what the wisdom of the Hawaiians teach. This is an Aboriginal culture. They give me the word technique. It's a teaching, it's an understanding. And so this is it's still a test. And it is a test of humanity, human will, human strength. So what that means, unfortunately, is some catastrophic events, which we've clearly been seeing anyways. But I feel this one has to do with lava flow going into populated cities that have been clean for probably thousands of years. Um, they're going to be displaced, and they're going to need help. And so when big bad things happen like that, it is humanity. It is helping your neighbor, coming to help, which increases our light quotient in our bodies and on our planet. And it also feeds the crystalline grid of our planet so that those who are born following this, following these events, are born into a cleaner nest. So we being helpful and compassionate now, it's healing past timelines to create a cleaner future timeline. Because here, this in-between space, there is no time. Time is an earth-bound constraint. We measure things with time, but it can feel that time speeds up and time slows down. And that is true, and we can bend time as well. This is going to be a technology. There are many people, their soul and their body is being quite destabilized with the energies and the strengths hitting our planet. And a lot of people are checking out. So that's the next thing I'm being asked to mention, is that there's a lot of people that are passing away, and a huge, huge, huge wave of people that are passing away. Um, a friend of mine just recently passed, um, just the other night, and it was of liver failure. Now, liver failure is, well, this particular person had their own issues, but they drank a lot of alcohol. And so this is going to be the outcome. Saturn is time. Saturn is also Lord Karma, and Saturn is also death. Um, out of time in the physical state. It means you're not going to make it through the next round of time. And so you may have somebody in your circle that you've recently lost, but I'm understanding it has something to do with a resurgence, a replanting. It has something to do with a wave. I'm getting like volunteers. Now, that makes me think of Dolores Cannon, because yeah, I got goosebumps. So this has to do with that, volunteers, and it's a mass exodus. So this has to do with, she's saying, new seedlings that when they come back, they won't start as a little seed in the ground. They're going to start as a sprout. Think of the little green giant, the big green giant, and he had the little sprout in the old commercials. Ho, 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 green giant. So he had the little sprout kid. Um, and so they're not starting as the seed, they're starting as the little sprout. And they're going to be called different. So we had indigo children, we have crystal children. This next one coming in, it's something that we haven't given it. I feel like it's lifting me up, like levitating. It's what I can only pick up as kind of like a metallic, but it's like a oh boy, see-through Teflon. It's like a pearlescent frequency. This is something that's it's a way up there. It's like in the 30 something dimension, 32, 32nd to 37th dimension. It looks like I'll be channeling a little bit of some of Dolores Cannon's information. That's super cool. Okay, so let's come back to the astrology now. We're going to look at the chart. So the chart is for when Jupiter goes into Cancer. So let's share the chart now. Okay, so this is the natural house system to make it nice, clean, and easy. And this is June 9th. And the other thing I wanted to mention is June is the 6th month, ninth is number 9. We are in a year 2025. If you add 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5, that's 9. Now, this is an extremely powerful period in the feng shui texts of renaissance, spiritual change, n- big new beginnings, high level creativity. I love this energy. It is magic. It's unicorn. It's purple. It's royal in a way. It's innovative because of Pluto in Aquarius. I can't love this more. It's the awakening of the community at the community level and then forming community themed living lifestyles, gathering together. Hey, I make bread. Hey, I'm an energy doctor. Let's exchange services and products. That whole barter system, taking care, tribal living, how you take care of the elders and they all, live in a community and you don't just chuck them in a nursing home and forget about them. Like this is all changing. And let's see here. So the chart shows, here we go. We've got Saturn. The brown H is Saturn at 1 Aries. The trident is Neptune at 2 Aries. They're only 1 degree away. And so this is called a conjunction because it's only 1 degree. And so these are super strong impacting one another. Saturn, again, limitations, restrictions, but it's also maturity. It's in the sign of Aries, which is newborn. Wah, wah. So it's uncharted territory, it's pioneering. What have you learned, Saturn? Because now you get a clean slate. You get to start over again. You get to inherit your wisdom and your knowledge, and you get to tweak it for your new way of learning, your new development. Neptune, god of the seas, that's spiritual, Christ consciousness. In Aries is new beginning. So this is a new spiritual awakening, uh, a spiritual renaissance. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Definitely more revealings about different kinds of churches and what's going on behind those scenes. Talked about that before. Okay, at this time when Jupiter goes into, here's Jupiter down here, the red number 4 looking thing. See, it's at 0, and that's Cancer. Okay. Um, it's going to be right next to this yellow guy is Mercury. That's planet of communication. So this here it comes. This is going to be dreams and dream work. Feeling, there's that phrase, mother's intuition. We're all going to be having it for a year. So our intuition, and I want to clarify the difference. This intuition is soft. It's soft and fleeting, where psychic is way more direct. It's a knowing. This is not going to feel so harsh and direct. It's more of a subtle, fleeting, soft energy. So this is you might even hear the essence of Gaia speaking, whispering into your nervous system. You need to slow down, breathe. It's okay. You don't need to push right now. Uh, this is going to increase, could increase water, so water retention in our bodies. Okay, when my head gets empty, that means there's nothing else. Move on. Um, Now, what else is going on here? The day after this, or a day after this, we're going to have a full moon. Now, this is even more interesting. Why? It's because here's the sun in Gemini. And if we move one day later, let's move one day here. And now, if I can move this out of the way. So the next day, which is June 10th, is going to be our full moon here. Or actually, it's real late at night. So I think it's the 11th. So June 11th, the moon is going to be exactly opposing the sun, and the ruler of the moon in Sagittarius, the ruler of the moon is Jupiter. So Jupiter is star of the day here for these couple of days. Jupiter moves into Cancer on the 9th. That moon is just stepped into Sagittarius on the same day. But then on the 11th is a culmination of the full moon. This is going to be where things are coming to light because that's what full moons do. They illuminate the night dark sky. Okay. It's a big spotlight in the sky at nighttime. Because Jupiter is with Mercury here, down here, the red number 4 with the little yellow guy here, these guys are close together in the sign of Cancer, which is water, which is feeling, emotional. Oh no, right? Full moons are always emotional, anyways. Jupiter is making it even bigger. But because it's in a water sign and Mercury is there, this is going to be spiritual hearing, mediumship. You might hear the doorbell ring and there's nobody there. And it's not a kid playing a prank on you. This is gonna be your spirit guides trying to get a hold of you, your loved ones that have transitioned. You need to know you're not dying. You need to know that this is a soft, loving, gentle reminder that you are seen, supported, nurtured, and loved. That's how to look at this. And you want to work with this energy. Please, your spirit guides, your higher power, whoever you pray to, show me what it is that I need to know for my own healing journey. This is a very fortunate, I would say, fortunate full moon. It's going to bring opportunities, but I need to warn you, just because something is presenting itself does not mean it's a yes. You must practice discernment. Now, with Saturn conjunct Neptune in fire, where's the air? Here's the sun in air. Where's Pluto? Up here in air. All right, so Pluto at 3 degrees. Pluto's the only planet going retrograde right now. Now, that's not a big deal, but it does make things a little bit more intense for us because Pluto is intensity and Aquarius is our nervous system. And it's also our ankles. So take good care of your ankles, ankle support. That it's feeling more closer to us, internalized. So this is getting lit up. So this is called a sextile. The elements get along. Fire and air get along. So we've got the fire energy and the air, and they're very close, 1 degree, 2 degrees, 3 degrees. So those are real tight. The sun is pretty far away. It's at 20 degrees. So it's a trine to Jupiter only by sign. It's far away. It's 17 degrees away. So it's not hot. It's still lit up, but not as much. All right. Now, what is lit up is that the moon going through Gemini, Mars is in Leo. So that is also fire. So fire with fire, that is a trine, which is friendly and easy. So as we're getting, this is nice. How this is kind of falling together is we might get this intuitive hit of what we need to do next. Oh, I might really see clearly this person, I've outgrown this relationship. This is as far as this person is going to go with themselves. They're not going to do anything else for themselves. So my relationship with them has no more room to grow. I'm going to continue my growth and I hope that they find their way. I'm going to pray for them. So this is going to be, it's not abandoning, but it's having these insights that help you to understand your next step forward. And sometimes that does mean you can't take everybody with you. And there is a very strong pressure to break free of something in our lives. And that is because Uranus is at the final degrees of Taurus, and Taurus is our body. It is our throat, vocal cords, larynx. It's our the seat of communication. So you might be getting to the end of your rope about particular things, and you might be like, you know what? I've been biting my tongue for all of these years. I bet you had no idea how I felt when you did XYZ, and I didn't say anything. And when you took that action, and it really hurt all of us, and we didn't say anything. And here you are trying to kick dirt in our face, and you're playing the victim? Well, I'm going to give you an earful. You need to know this. I'm not biting my tongue anymore. This is what most likely is going to happen somewhere in your life with certain people or your career. And you might say, take this job and shove it. I don't want to work here no more. I don't subscribe to this belief system, or I don't subscribe to this family anymore. I can't take the way that you're being, and I just got to get away from me. Uh, so this is going to be happening somewhere, and this will peak. It's going to be very, very strong at the end of June. Why? Because then Uranus is going to be at the final degree, which is our breaking point, our tipping point. And Jupiter at the end of, let's come back to now. Today I'm going to. Here's Jupiter. So Jupiter's at 27 degrees now, and Uranus is at 27 degrees now. Now, Uranus is in an earth, Jupiter is in an air, so they don't necessarily see one another. It's a little bit of a blind spot, but they're at the same degree nonetheless. And then the nodes of the moon are at 24. So there is a tugging sensation going on that we can't exactly put our finger on. I know something's got to give. And the full moon that we have is going to shine a light on what it is. And then things come to fruition. And I realize with my real eyes what's not working for me anymore. And then your job to yourself is to take appropriate action. Okay, so let's go back now to the Jupiter ingress into Cancer chart. Here we are. All right. So we've got the full moon the day after. We have 2 days after. It'll be on the 11th. The full moon's on the 11th. And it is going to light all of these blendings of energies. And it's getting ready for the next oomph, the next wave, the next what. And my advice to you is to stay away from regular news. Because if you haven't figured it out by now, there's always a crisis. Oh my God, this. I just saw on social media yesterday, these predictions, it's going to be the hottest season ever and save water. But it's like crisis mode, okay? So take everything with a grain of salt. It is smart to have a little bit of, not rations, to stock up on things. Like, what if your power goes out? Will you be able to have enough food and water, right? So I live in the country and we have well water. So if we have no power, my well isn't going to pump, okay? So I got a generator. You need to have a backup. I can just about guarantee. That's how strongly I feel about the grid going down. And we've had all kinds of warnings about it. For some reason, I see Biden's face, don't know why, but it has to do with the grid. So I guess this was a scare, or these might have been other talks during his presidency. And it came that close, and then whoever it is, they broke ties. So it didn't actually happen. But it's already now I'm actually being taken to some other higher dimensions. So this has to do with However, our higher pop, no, 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 no. It's those who hold the golden keys to the countries, the big powers of the world, working with off-planet intelligence. I'm just going to say it that way. And that is it used to be something under wraps, and now it looks like there's this negotiating period, and there is going to be like a flipping of the switch, like a breaker switch is going to get flipped, and this is cool, the old terminology and technology is going to crumble. A lot of it's already dead. Okay, and this isn't only for electricity. This is these are other timelines. So this is, I'm including dragon timelines, including some to do with seismic activity, and that the rest of things are crumbling down or imploding. This is great. This is such good stuff. Don't let any of that stuff scare you, because if without change, if you never changed, then you would still be a little infant wearing diapers. Okay? Growth. We need to have growth, and we need to change as we grow. If you are not growing and developing, then you're dying. And that's why you always want to be learning, trying new things. If you pace the floor over and over, you're going to wear a hole in the floor. Okay, you've got to walk around and visit new territory every now and then. Read some books, watch some podcasts, pursue the topics that interest you, and let it be for your own higher good. Let it be things that bring you personal joy, like gardening, if that's something that floats your boat, or creating, or learning, taking a class. In fact, this Gemini energy that we have under the full moon, you might want to sign up for some kind of a class, something short and sweet. A workshop, for example. Now, the other thing is the full moon is going to be in the sign of Sagittarius. It's going to be speaking to the Saturn Neptune. That's a trine. The same element is a trine. And it is going to be igniting Saturn in Leo, even though it's much later in the degrees. It's still there by sign. So that is going to give us a grand trine in fire, which is going to be impulsive. So you're going to get this intuitive hit, and you're going to want to act on it right away. I don't recommend that you do that. You're going to get the intuitive hit. You're going to want to write it down. You're going to want to sleep on it. You're going to want to be paying attention to your dreams, because this is going to be a time that you're getting dreams from the past, including your past lives, and you have the option to ground it and make it a reality. It's such a wonderful opportunity to reach for the stars and catch some stardust on the way. That's what this is. Now, also with the Sagittarius and Jupiter energy, this is going to speak to our past lives. Sagittarius is the sign of deja vu. It is the sign of past lives. So what that means is you're going to get a key to open up the Akashic records. And I'm hearing on a galactic level. I wasn't going to say that, but that's what my guys just gave me. But on a human level, your past lives as a human, and that there's a bridge that takes you to your cosmic galactic records. This is so cool. And so depending on where you are in I'm going to stop the share for a moment. Depending on where you are in your own level of consciousness, is going to be where the stars are that you can reach out to, or star systems, or star clusters. Now, I know this is all astrology. I'm looking for a deck of cards. Uh, I do kind of weave a lot of things together. And I also wanted to tell you that I have postponed my astrology course. I'm actually going to do it at the end of summer. It is well, first it's the nuts and bolts, but I've just taken it off the menu right now, so you cannot purchase that right now. Now, you are definitely, so the card that showed up, you can't make this stuff up, is multi-dimensionality. Now you might feel an activation when you look at this card. So the Pleiades is a star cluster. It is the seven sisters. or the seven weeping sisters or the seven dancing sisters. This is actually located in the Taurus constellation, which Uranus is lighting up. This is so cool. I absolutely love this. And so this is going to open your galactic timeline channels. And you may possibly start speaking light language. I wouldn't be surprised. And the other card that presented itself is, oh, actually, it was not the card, it was the cover of the book, which is probably the cup. No, it's not. So this one, which I don't know because the words aren't on it, but this is the deck that I'm holding here from Jamie Price. She's amazing. She's out of Sedona. But this symbol, I have to look it up and I'll put it in the comments or in the show notes. But this is super talking to me right now. So yesterday I did a channeling from the Lyran Council, and the Lyrans are they look like lions. So like the feline looking. I'm just curious. We're almost out of time, but if this card presents itself, or if I can find a Lyran card at all. Here's one. So this card is awareness. I don't know what that one is, but that one's super speaking to me. And so Heidi says, I have a guide like that. So the card represents symbolism of truth. This is a Lyran light language card. I'm being told to hold this, like HELD, held. Okay, so what I'm actually hearing is this is us being held. And then we're going to stand in our truth. And I'm going to try to get my fingers out of the way. And I'm going to bring us a nice little light language. And then I'm going to conclude. So just give me 2 seconds to put this together. I do have an email list. I invite you to sign up to join my email list on my website. It's Suzy with a Y. SUZY dash WOO.com. And if you sign up for for my newsletter, you're going to get a sound healing video. And then I do once in a while, I'll send out perks. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to ask you to bring your awareness from your head down into your chest. And I would like to invite you to breathe into your heart and to imagine your heart like a big, beautiful ball of light and to receive these energetics. Ashtini anak kurutide ashtide ina mora hara kajitiki ana so tulua na nina ine ishtida ana ku ashtida ana ishwi kita ana iya Breathe into your heart space. Hiya. Wow. And allow yourself to have a nice deep breath. Smile on the exhale. And the card that came up is power. And it's a Lyran card. How cool is that? Awesome. All right, my beautiful friends, that is it for this week. So I think our weekly things are metamorphosizing a little bit. We're weaving some other stuff besides just astrology. And I welcome it, and I hope that you do too. And if you know anybody that would enjoy this channel, I would really love it if you would share this with them. And please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I hope to see you again next week. See you next time. Bye, everybody.